All right, welcome back, everybody. Godfather 1 and 2 are two of the greatest movies of all time in American history. In fact, Godfather 1, according to research, shows that it ranks in the top 25 among the highest grossing films in history. Joining me at this time is a gentleman who played the character Carlo, the fella that slapped around Al Pacino's sister in the movie Godfather 1. Joining us via Skype from New York is Gianni Russo. Johnny, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Doing good. We spoke on the radio. It's good to see you on television.
What's nice, though, you're down in San Diego now, huh?
Yeah. Nice and warm down here, and moderate temperature, as you know.
You go to Little Italy a lot?
I do get over to Little Italy in San Diego quite a bit, in fact.
India Street, the Bujalaki.
You know it well, huh? You know that territory well, huh?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And I know Joey Busalaki well as well.
He's great. Those brothers are the best.
That's right. You know, I was curious. I was doing a little bit of background, and what I didn't know, and there's sort of a pop culture story out there, Johnny. It says that you used your organized crime contacts to get the role of Carlo Rizzi in The Godfather. You had, according to myth and legend, you had never acted before. Marlon Brando objected to you being in that role. And his objection got under your ire, under your skin a little bit, and you let him know. And when you let him know, he thought you were auditioning and said, "This is the guy we want." Is that a true story?
That is definitely a true story, and that happened in the dress rehearsal up on 119th Street at Patsy's, where I used to go many, many years with Sinatra and Columbo and everybody else. That was the place to buy pizza at night. And we'd be there till the wee hours in the morning. With that said, Francis Ford Coppola arranged for the first rehearsals to be there. And we get, you sit around, it's a cold reading, you just read the parts and you just, do your lines and introduce yourself, and all around the table with the whole cast. I was more interested in Richard Conte and Sterling Hayden and John Morley. I didn't even know these young kids, Pacino and James Caan and all that. So with that said, we had our first break, and Brando came over to me, and he said, "You're a big TV actor." I said, "No, I'm not an actor." "What are you talking about?" He said, "You have a big movie coming out?" I said, "No." He said, "Who'd you study with?" I said, "Study what?" So he called Francis over. And it's the first time I realized how important my role was, because he broke it down for me. And he said, "This guy marries my daughter. He undermines my whole family to the Barzinis. He gets my oldest son killed. And he's plotting against us through the whole movie. He's got to be a believable actor. I think you should rethink this." So I already had my parties. I was celebrating. I was a young kid. A lot of money. And I saw my whole career going into the garbage pail if this guy was convincing enough. So I didn't know protocol on the set. So I told Francis, "Go over there a minute. I want to talk to him alone," which you're never supposed to dismiss the director. He's like the guard on the set. And they used to play Zigonette in the back. So I knew where that room was. I didn't want to embarrass him. So I put my arm around him, and I walked him to the back. That was another whole thing. The whole room went quiet once I touched him. And I take him into the back, and I give him a little dialogue I can't say on the radio. But basically, I told him, I said, "Let me tell you something. I know who you are, but if you ruin this for me, you understand what I'm telling you right now? If you ruin this for me, I will suck on your heart."
Great story. And Gianni Russo, could a movie like Godfather be made today in this politically correct environment that we live in? It showed Italians the good side. It showed the dark side. It showed ethnicity. In this world today of we're all supposed to be one. There's no differences. There's no masculinity and femininity are supposed to be blurred. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to attempt to do something, because I wrote a piece a while ago, and now it's getting a lot of attention. So to answer your question, I'm going to make a movie here in the next 6 months, and it's called Don't Shoot the Messenger, and it's set in that same era, 50s, 60s, and 70s. It incorporates the Kennedy assassination. So I'm going to just shoot a movie. I don't care what, you know. I mean, we're still seeing period pieces made where, you know, you could be politically correct and be on the verge, and you don't need to say it, but it would be implied and people will understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I don't think in the arts we are so bound as, let's say, I mean, not even cable television, network television in prime time.
Right.
I think your hands are tied there, but to be creative in a film, I think you can still go to limit with it.
It feels like Hollywood was much more patriotic about America in those years which you just described, 50s, certainly 40s and 50s, maybe 60s. And today, there's sort of a, not everybody, but there's sort of a feeling that Hollywood loves to bash America, feels embarrassed over America. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but if you do, what happened? Why do you think they went from embracing America to being embarrassed by America?
You know, I think it's this new generation, this young generation of directors and whatever. You know, it's you know, we've seen American bashing, and we've seen people avoiding the draft when it was there, and we all went through the Vietnam stuff. But these kids, this is their only soapbox. So when they have the opportunity, they're doing it. Unfortunately, it's, as you say, it's very unpatriotic. But maybe they should go move to a fourth world country somewhere and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to show a video to our viewers right now. Cher had a comment about Miley Cyrus's latest fiasco on television. We'll show a 30-second video. We'll come back and get your thoughts on it.
She took a chance, so you've got to give her something for that. And I must say, in my other interviews, I haven't given her anything because I didn't like it. And I've said this and I believe this. If the chick had come out naked and done a great performance, doing the same things, I don't care. I would have said, you know, great. I'm behind you 100%. I don't like the fact that it wasn't good.
I was kind of surprised, Johnny, that Cher, of all people, was criticizing Miley Cyrus for not wearing enough clothes and being a little provocative. Not that I like what Miley Cyrus did. What are your take on this whole brouhaha over Miley Cyrus?
Well, you know, I happened to see that show that night, and first of all, I don't think it was done very well. I don't care who was doing it, but I agree with Cher. I mean, get a better routine than that. I mean, that was just about as low as a strip club.
Yeah, yeah.
All she needed was a pole. And I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be flaunting a body like hers on worldwide television. She really isn't in shape. I mean, I know chicks that got a tighter ass than her.
Yeah, she is not much in shape, is she? Or was she? You know, one thing I wanted to ask you, getting back to The Godfather again, Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, Robert Duvall, Diane Keaton, James Caan, Gianni Russo, they're all part of Godfather 1. I would imagine there were a lot of big egos in the shooting of that film, given those big names, although some were in the developing, becoming big. Was that a problem, having so many big egos at one place at one time?
Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, you know, well, Jimmy Caan, for one, he just came off a Brian song.
Yeah.
And I think he was always walking 4 feet above ground. And to me, it was just, I don't know, I'm just a street guy. I've been that way all my life. I'm 70 years old now. I've seen people come and go. The biggest egos I've ever seen when we shot Any Given Sunday. Talk about egos and rappers. We had the biggest cast ever. Old stars, Charleston Heston, Ann Margaret, plus the Pacinos, the James Woods, the Jamie Foxxes, LL Cool J. I mean, I don't understand these people that they do not appreciate the privilege that they have and just be nice. You're blessed, man. You got a great, even me in my little humble life of 40 years in the film business now, I'm so appreciative of it. And I'm not a star. I'm just a character actor that keeps working, fortunately. And I mean, The Godfather changed my whole life and still does. I don't think anybody's capitalized on The Godfather more than I have with my brandy or my wines, and now my vodkas are coming out. So I mean, it's it's been great, but I don't think they know how to say thank you.
How, you mentioned you capitalized on The Godfather. Talk to us a moment about the breads and the wines. A lot of our viewers aren't aware of it. You have your own bread line, your own wine line. It's amazing how a film it shows how successful that film was from 1972.
Well, look at my label.
Yeah.
It's the Godfather. Now my vodka is coming out the first quarter of next year, and it's called Padrino.
All right.
And
Which means The Godfather.
Right.
All right. Well, Gianni Russo, we thank you for joining us from New York, getting us caught up on some of the behind-the-scenes things that our viewers may not have known about the movie, and giving us some insight on Hollywood.
Well, great. Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right. When we return, we'll return with our Grassroots Citizen panel. I'm Rick Amato. We're back after this.